Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, if you're watching this from. This is my Doctor Who Series 2 Episode 5 review of the story and the engine. I did my waiting at the end. There is some things to talk about in my opinion, but of course it all starts off with the prequel. Straight away, I was in the barber shop and tapped down the story as well, which is what it's all about. And we saw in Tootie and Beenda. Obviously, Beenda telling the doctor he wants to go home. He wants to go home, and then once then, Beenda changes her mind and wants to stay in Nigeria. So these are next set of premises, obviously. So Beenda stays in the TARDIS. The doctor goes out to explore, and obviously been doing the Who's Welcome. And then the doctor notices the missing people in the profile, the missing people in the portions, which we all know, as in the barber shop, the missing people, the mysterious barber shop. Obviously, the stories continue to be told in the barber shop, and then the doctor does obviously meet everyone in the barber shop as it goes on, and the doctor does recognise a face, Abby or Abena, who apparently the doctor left years ago. Apparently the doctor left. I think it was the food tip doctor left. This is a bit of a spoiler for yet one in this episode. And the doctor, it was the doctor's turn to tell a story, and the doctor ends up telling a story about Beenda, and the doctor does not notice Mrs. Flood once again. Mrs. Flood does appear in the doctor's story. Mrs. Flood saying to Beenda, after Beenda finishes her shift, in the flashback, just getting my pills, and then the doctor does not notice Mrs. Flood. I mean, see, obviously the doctor is going to notice Mrs. Flood at some point, and that's going to be sick. That's going to be great to see as well. That's going to be great to see when the doctor does and notice Mrs. Flood, aka Devani. I will keep on saying it, people, just to annoy people. Just go back to that image, actually. It was interesting that even with the other people, they didn't look like they were getting like shocked by the barber's apron. But when the apron went on the doctor, he got shocked by it, didn't he? Which is quite interesting, to be fair. So obviously the doctor told his story, and he did have his hair cut, but it's interesting that the hair continues to grow back. And obviously the doctor wants to know what's going on and decides to open the door, and that's where he sees a spider, who we all think Nancy the Spider, of course. And obviously the barber says it's the Nexus. I used to call it World Wide Web, which we do see in the next image. And it's quite interesting we see the same cinema that was in episode 2. uploads, and we see the web. And we see like the web being we've seen the web obviously getting created by the barber himself. And what's interesting about that web is I do notice it from 73 yards. I might be way off the mark, might be something different, but I do notice it from 73 yards, like the same thing that Ruby stepped on, which could be interesting as well. And then the doctor wants to know who the barber is, and the barber apparently says he's Nancy the Man Spider, etc., etc. It goes by many names. I mean, it was ice cold, to be fair. It was ice cold, that reveal, but obviously it turned out he was the Iron. The doctor fitted him out. So it was a bit like one of them, wasn't it? And obviously Abby decides to do the doctor's hair, and I see Abby does betray the barber, because Abby pretty much with the hairstyle gives the doctor the pathway to get the doctor where he needs to get to. So that was clever. That was quite clever, to be fair. Quite clever, that. And obviously the doctor gets to where he needs to get to, and it ends up being a tree. There's a brain. There's a brain as well. A beating heart inside the brain. I mean, never seen that before. And obviously the main barber, obviously finds the doctor, and the doctor pretty much tells Bender to run away while the doctor tells his story. Well, his 4-word story. We all know it's more than 4 words, yes, be real. I born, I die. Yeah, I think that's a perfect description. Yeah, perfect description, isn't it? Telling the stories, bickering. And obviously, they always stay. No one died. They always stay, including the barber. And you see the big spider trying to get out of the barber shop, but it ends up getting exploded. Yeah, we still don't know about the spider, do we? I think that's, for me, that was one of the downs for me in the episode. Like the spider for me. I think that was one of the downs in my opinion. Obviously, we did see the food sift doctor. I have forgot to add that as well. We did see the food sift doctor for a short cameo in this episode when Abby was remembering the doctor. The doctor Abby remembers is actually the food sift one. I still don't see the point in the food sift doctor. I really don't. All these people, all these Doctor Who creators say, "Oh my God, she's back, she's back," and I'm like, yeah, but what is she useful for? I still don't get it. I still don't. So basically, the food sift doctor, if you don't know, she basically smashed the cats and she became the doctor. How stupid. How stupid is that? Yes, be real. But obviously, and this was another letdown for me, the spider not having much time in the episode. And was then a bit like that series of Suter, just easy defeated, I'm afraid. And but what's interesting though, what is interesting is we saw this little girl at the start of the episode, and was being the saw, and being tells the Doctor near the end of the episode he's near a child, and so that's going to be now another new theory to see who the child is. A lot of people say it's Captain Poppy from Space Babies. I do see that. I do see that, to be fair. She does look like the double of Poppy from Space Babies. Someone said it was Beyonder. Oh, I mean, let's not do this again. It would make no sense to be Beyonder, to be honest with you. Because but to start off with, different skin colour, simple as that. So it's probably, I think it's probably Poppy from Space Babies. That's who it probably is. Because we all know from Space Babies that all these children who were taken over, all these little children that were taken over, that they couldn't find the homes and all that. So it would make probably sense with this episode, to be fair. It probably makes sense. Now, the overall rating, I thought it was a bit meh, in my opinion. Look, I like the storytelling. I do like the storytelling that was unique. The storytelling, like all the stories that was unique and all that. The thing that gets me down with this episode is the spider didn't have enough time. That's supposed to be like the big dangerous creature, isn't it? The fugitive doctor then sees his confusion. Like, what is she? What is it? I know, as he said, that's the story to be finished and all that, but again, I just don't see the point. I really don't see the point in the fugitive doctor. I'm sorry, I know people won't like that, but I really don't. I just think they need to scrap that now, but they won't. They won't scrap it because it's here now. And the series has got off to a great start. I'm sorry, I gotta be honest. I'm not saying it's one of the worst episodes. I just feel a few things didn't get the episode down, in my opinion. I'm sorry. It's probably gonna be a 6 or a 7 out of 10. That's the best I can give it, in my opinion. I know I'll get comments saying, "Oh, what are you talking about?" I did say, didn't I? I did say the storytelling was unique, but a few things did get this episode down, in my opinion. Like the first Doctor, that was just a short cameo as well. Even though I don't see the point in the first Doctor, but it was a short cameo. You got the Spider, not enough time with the Spider either. Spider was easy beaten as well. I know that's not happened. I know that's not happened in Doctor Who, but and also like the barber, revealing himself as like Nancy and all that when the Doctor figured out he's an iron and all that. I think that was a bit of a letdown, like especially when you see at the end, Olmo tells him to use a different name as well. I mean, you just like, yeah, I was a bit meh by that episode for me. I was a bit meh. Obviously, the next episode is going to be the Interstellar Song Contest. Everyone's only looking forward to that episode because that's when Mrs. Fields apparently done get revealed to find out who she really is. That's why everyone's looking forward to that episode, to be honest with you. And but obviously there'll be a preview for that. But yeah, I can only give it a 6, 7 out of 10 this episode for me. I know that's gonna piss people off, giving it a lower rating, than the Warren Revolution. I just have to go by what I feel. I'm just being honest. I know everyone was enjoying this episode. I like the storytelling. I did like the storytelling. I will say that. But I thought I'd give it a 6 or 7 out of 10. And to be fair, that's still a good rating. I still did waiting. It's still better ratings than what I did some episodes in series 1. But I just have to be honest. My heart said 7, my head said 6 for me. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. And that ain't a bad rating, because there's still some good stuff in there. It was unique, it was ambitious, and I give them credit for that. But I just feel this is them through things that I've spoke about that kind of get the episode down a bit. So I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. Obviously, I still enjoyed some parts of the episode, like the storytelling, that was quite intriguing. But I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest, and I have to give it a 6 out of 10. I do apologise. So, but anyways, feel free to leave your thoughts down below on this episode down below in the comments. All these people, and seriously, I'm sick of all these people on comments on other Doctor Who content creators saying, "Oh, thanks for spoiling it." Well, I'm not being funny. It is on BBC iPlayer right now. It is on BBC iPlayer, so you can easily watch it on that. You get people saying sorry. You get people in the comments saying, "Oh, thanks for spoiling it. I haven't watched it yet." Oh, shut up! Stop crying. Stop crying. Watch it on iPlayer then if you don't want it to be spoiled. Don't go on social media as well. Simple, isn't it? Pretty simple. So, yeah, a bit of a one on some people saying, "Oh, you spoiled it." Shut up. Seriously, shut up. Honestly, what's it on iPlayer? It's that simple. What are you doing here? But yeah, anyways, that's my thoughts on the episode. Feel free to leave your thoughts down below in the comments. Take care, stay safe, and see you later.